With that, Alan, please take it away.
Thanks. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Yeah, so the title to my talk is Don't Get Wrecked. I'm going to start it out with, I guess, the reason why I got into privacy. As she said, I'm Alan. I'm one of the contributors to the RAILGUN Privacy Project. I've been contributing to the project now. I can't believe it. It's almost 5 years, which is an eternity in crypto. It's like dog years, so I guess I should be retiring soon. The whole reason why I got into privacy is I started trading in crypto, and I was at a Telegram group, and who here's on Telegram? Just a quick show of hands. All right, everybody. And who here is in like any like random, alpha groups or things like this where they share things about shitcoins and this sort of thing, right? Basically everybody. Is anybody in one that's a token gated community that's token gated by Collabland or something like this? Yeah, great. We're starting to narrow it down, right? And so the same thing sort of happened to me, right? I was in a group, Collabland, and I got DM'd, how did you know about, shitcoin X? I was like, it's really weird, because I actually wasn't done filling my bag, and, the classic adage in finance is fill, then chill, right? So you tell people about your bags after you filled them. And that sort of sent me down a weird rabbit hole at that moment, right? And it sort of made me realize that, privacy is it's a very crucial bit of online OPSEC. It effectively, right, helps you maintain control over your sensitive information that people can otherwise use against you, right? And one of the key things that it does is it reduces vulnerabilities, right? You really want to focus on limiting how much information you share online and making sure you should compartmentalize this sort of information. And so you want to be able to take and protect your personal information, your financial records, and this goes above and beyond your banking records, but also things like your Etherscan. We sort of are really bad at that in crypto. And you can take and protect your proprietary information. I see it all too often on crypto Twitter, people talking about leverage points for very large positions. And this is a very, very bad thing for finance. If you know where somebody's pain point is, or they're trying to do an iceberg order, this isn't a very appealing thing. In fact, I would argue this pinpoint issue is exactly why we don't have very large funds taking and going into crypto. And so one of the things you want to do and think about in OPSEC Online is compartmentalization, right? Making sure you separate all of your concerns on the internet and make sure that they're all protected from one another. One of my favorite things is old school rap, right? And Biggie says, rule number 1, never let anyone know how much money you have, right? Cheddar breeds jealousy, right? And we do a really piss poor job of that in crypto. So who here has a POAP? Right? Who here has an ENS? Right? Who here has seen Lumas with this shit right here, right? Verify your wallet, right? And then, of course, we mentioned Collabland earlier. All these things are really bad, right? They're terrible for privacy. And I see it all the time. People will actually go and collect POAPs live in person with a core wallet with tens of thousands of dollars in them. And it's absolutely insane because you're basically saying, hi, I'm here today with the keys to 10 racks. Come and find me. It's nuts. It's absolutely insane. And then people do stuff like have ENSs, very famous people in the world. Some of our speakers today. Snoop Dogg, very famously. Shaq, Mark Cuban, Vitalik, right? We all have ENSs. I mean, and these people very specifically are talked about whenever they move crypto. Vitalik can't move a single token without making the news. And so I want to talk about some of the things that you can do, right? But first we're going to get back in my notes. So some of the things you can do, right? So first and foremost, I think one of the easiest things you can do is be aware of what RPCs you're using, right? these things have privacy policies. So make sure you read them. Some of them are better than others. And if you're really nerdy, you shouldn't use an RPC at all, right? You should take and maybe set up a light node yourself if you're feeling frisky. You want to really compartmentalize and be aware of what addresses you're using for what, right? Please don't sign for a POAP with your core address. It's dumb. It's really bad. Use privacy supporting technologies, right? Use wallets that support this kind of stuff. There's wallets that have integrated Railgun. Railway is one of them. Terminal's another. There's really cool Zcash ones like Zashi, for example. Go out there and explore. I would argue to limit the use of centralized DApp front ends, right? A lot of the people here are probably nerdy enough to call contracts, and I would suggest to do that kind of thing, right? Even just not from OPSEC, but just from a security perspective. I feel like curve front end gets wrecked every other day, so just sort of be conscious of what you're doing. Another thing that you can do to protect your privacy is to make sure that you sort of compartmentalize yourself away from the centralized exchanges that you're using. A lot of people who use Railgun, this is Dropbots. Shout out to those dudes, right? They're really great. You can see here that a lot of people are using Railgun to interact with Binance, Coinbase, Coinbase Prime, Kraken. I think this is a really great idea because what it does is it allows you to prevent yourself from getting wrecked. There's been so many examples of people sort of getting doxxed by centralized exchanges, FTX being one of them. If you were a Celsius user back in the day, if you used Coinbase very recently. All of these things have different security vectors that you need to consider, and making sure that you're not tying an off-ramp to your core bag is probably a really good thing to do. Another thing that you can do is you can accept payments from people by way of private addresses. This is an app called Token Shielder that exists out there in the world. It was written by the guys at Scopelift. They did Umbra, if you guys are familiar with that. But it allows you to take and you can put in a private address, send somebody a link, they connect the wallet, and they pay into it. And it's sort of it avoids this issue that you have, and we all do it. It's kind of cute. Like we go to the Etherscan and then we proceed to like judge each other like based on like what exchanges we do, how old the wallet is, and you know the different coins that you hold and things like this. And sort of being able to get away from these habits that we do in crypto is a really good thing, right? This voyeurism is actually really quite unhealthy and frankly very dangerous. So the bottom line here, right, to me, privacy isn't about hiding stuff. It's bad actor prevention, right? It's OPSEC, and it's really, really important. The things that we're talking about here are more often than not financial technologies, and they're on publicly immutable live streaming chains. That tell everybody about what you have. So just be careful. I got some really my favorite resources on getting started with privacy stuff. Privacy Guides is really great. The Web3 privacy dudes are doing really great research. And if you're a purveyor of YouTube, I really like Naomi Brockwell. She does a lot on how to do privacy stuff and keep it simple. So that's it. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.